Humans have been eating beef and game since the prehistoric era, so steak has been on the dinner menu since, well, pretty much forever. From open fires to fine dining, its evolution has been shaped by economics, politics, and time. So, if the question is, where's the beef? The answer is, we found it, and then some. Which is why, today, we're going to take a look at every style of steak we could find. But before we get started, be sure to subscribe to the Weird History Food channel. After that, please leave a comment and let us know what other iconic entrees you would like to hear about. Unless you're in the vampire hunting business, steaks are thick cuts of meat, typically beef, cooked over high heat. But where did steak come from? Well, the dish most similar to modern steak was actually created in Florence, Italy, during the Renaissance. But its origins are more gruesome than you'd think. How so? Well, back in 1565, the Florentines celebrated the first day of St. Lawrence by grilling and eating beef. That doesn't sound so gruesome until you realize St. Lawrence was a Roman martyr who was grilled alive over open coals in 258 CE. Delicious irony. By the 1600s, eating steak became a common practice in London. The meat was served in establishments called chop houses, which were designed to feed hungry workers a cheap, high-protein meal during their lunch break. These simple working man's meals were called ordinaries. But as with all things, hipsters eventually showed up and made chop houses cool. You see, a new, novel idea was emerging out of Paris in the 1700s. Food establishments had started keeping a short, curated list of items they offered to cook, and an effort was made to create an inviting and comfortable dining experience. It was the birth of the restaurant. Anyway, steak made its way across the Atlantic and became associated with cowboys and rugged frontier life. It was a common food for the common people. But that all changed when the first fine dining eatery in the United States opened up in New York City in 1837. That place was called Delmonico's, and their signature dish? Yep, it was the Delmonico steak. This marbled and tender steak was actually a specific cut of meat, taken from the transition of the 13th rib and the loin area. And if you want to try it, you still can. Delmonico's remains open to this day. Long story short, steak became a worldwide phenomenon. Since then, it's taken many forms, influenced by the economic and cultural tides of time. In fact, you could say when it comes to steak, there's more than meets the eye. Each cut of steak has its own texture, flavor, and cooking style, depending on where it was harvested from the cow. And there are 8 main cuts of beef from which all steaks come from. First is chuck, essentially the cow's shoulder area. This huge muscle accounts for about 26% of the meat on a cow. Chuck is typically used for ground beef and flat iron steaks. Then there's rib, a very popular cut which comes from exactly where you'd expect. The ribs. It's where they get steakhouse favorites like the prime rib and ribeye cut. The loin is the most expensive cut of meat. Some of the most popular cuts of beef from this section are T-bone steak and filet mignon. The round, which basically is the cow's back end, is the most inexpensive cut of meat. It's a heavily used muscle area for the cow, which makes the meat lean and tough. That being said, you will essentially be eating cow butt. Brisket, on the other hand, is a cut from the chest area, and it's perfect for slow cooking. It's a popular choice for barbecue and to make pastrami. The shank cut is closer to the front bottom shoulders of a cow. Also lean and tough, it's best used when it can be cooked slowly, like in a stew. Finally, there's plate and flank. This is another inexpensive cut that's become more and more popular for customers who want a leaner cut of beef without missing out on flavor. And now that you know the 8 major steak cuts, don't worry, there won't be a quiz. Let's get to the meat of this video. How many steak styles can we find? First, let's start with filet mignon, a fancy schmancy cut known for its tenderness. Filet mignon doesn't have a lot of marbling fat, so it cooks at a lower temp and has a milder flavor than other more fatty cuts. And for that reason, it's usually heavily seasoned. New York Strip sounds like an adults-only club located somewhere near Times Square, but it's actually a beefy, boneless behemoth of a cut that comes from the area behind the ribs. It's cooked on a hot skillet and usually pan-seared to seal in the flavor, and it's a staple among steak lovers. The porterhouse is an absolute icon. In fact, when you close your eyes and imagine a steak, there's a good chance you're picturing a porterhouse. Similar to the T-bone steak, the porterhouse is cut from where the tenderloin meets the top loin. So you get both filet mignon and New York strip at the same time. In other words, it's steak squared. The tri-tip is a flavorful lean cut of meat that was popular in South America before gaining popularity in American barbecue culture. A cut of bottom sirloin meat, it's famous for its flavor. As for its name, it might be short for triangle tip, since the tri-tip is a triangular cut, but it remains one of humanity's great unsolved mysteries. Top sirloin is a versatile, budget-friendly cut that's perfect for weeknight dinners. As its name suggests, it comes from the upper portion of the sirloin. And since that muscle gets more exercise than most of the people who eat it, the meat is lean, firm, and packed with bold, beefy flavor. Short ribs come from the section between the chuck and ribs, giving them both great marbling and a rich flavor. They're cut in two ways: English style, which is shorter pieces with one bone, or barbecue style, which is longer strips with 3 bones. Short ribs are usually braised seared, then cooked low and slow until tender. Chicken fried steak. Is it chicken? Is it steak? No one knows. Except us. Also known as country fried steak, this one is a thinly pounded slice of beef battered in flour and cooked in oil, like fried chicken. Hence the name. The American answer to Austrian Wiener Schnitzel, it was likely inspired by the arrival of German and Austrian immigrants in Texas in the 1850s. Steak Diane is a popular steak known for its cooking style rather than a specific cut of beef. This dish is a thinly pounded steak, sautéed with seasoned butter and Worcestershire sauce. It's named after Diane, the Roman goddess of the hunt, who we assume would be flattered. A prime rib roast is essentially a larger, roast-sized version of the ribeye steak that can be prepared bone-in or boneless. Typically weighing between 4 and 8 pounds, it delivers a rich, buttery flavor and a melt-in-your-mouth texture. Also known as steak and cheese, or just cheesesteak, it's a classic sandwich made with thinly sliced beef and melted cheese piled into a long hoagie roll. Born in Philadelphia, it became an iconic fast food favorite and a proud symbol of the city's culinary culture. Salisbury steak, which was once known as a school lunch staple and TV dinner icon, isn't really a steak at all. Think of it more like a dressed-up hamburger patty, made from ground beef and sometimes mixed with other meats. It's typically served with rich brown-style gravy and classic sides like mashed potatoes and green beans. Despite being surrounded by cows, cowboys did not eat a lot of steak. But when they did, they made it count. Butchering the meat themselves, they went for big, hearty ribeye cuts cooked over open flames in cast iron. That simple and rugged tradition lives on today in what we call the cowboy steak, which, just to be clear, you do not still have to butcher yourself. Carne asada, which simply means grilled meat in Spanish, is a Mexican classic made with marinated skirt or flank steak that's grilled and thinly sliced. It's typically marinated with lime, garlic, jalapeno, cilantro, and spices, making carne asada tender, flavorful, and versatile. Steak pie is a British comfort food classic found everywhere from cozy pubs to football matches. Savory pies have been part of British cuisine for centuries and were originally used to preserve meat before refrigeration. Today, steak pie is loved for its hearty beef and onion filling and its golden puff pastry crust. Chuck roast sounds like the host of a game show where you win meat, but it's not. More commonly known as pot roast, it's a classic comfort dish made by slow-cooking tough cuts of beef like chuck, short ribs, or bottom round in moist heat until tender. Browning the meat first adds extra flavor, and vegetables like carrots, potatoes, and onions are often cooked in the same pot. Despite its name, London broil isn't from London, and it's not even one specific cut of steak. Originally from America, the term referred to lean cuts of marinated meat. So why is it called London? Well, no one knows for sure, though some believe it's just a marketing gimmick used to add some posh flair to cheap beef. Bavette is a flat, tender steak with an ideal balance of fat and muscle, making it easy to cook evenly. It's similar in flavor to flank steak, which is to say robust and beefy. It's cut from the bottom of the sirloin, near the flank and skirt, so it's naturally tender. Throw on a marinade and you've got yourself a crowd pleaser. A tomahawk steak is a ribeye with a long bone attached, giving it a dramatic look that resembles a tomahawk, though do not carry it into battle as a weapon. Like other ribeyes, it's prized for its rich, beefy flavor and juicy, tender texture. As for the bone, it's often Frenched, meaning it's cleaned as part of the presentation of the dish. That is a lot of meat. Today, health-conscious diners are reshaping how beef is raised and served. As we've learned more about dietary health, steak lovers have become increasingly mindful of nutrition, driving demand for leaner cuts. And in 1987, the USDA introduced the Select Grade, a leaner option that still delivers hearty flavor, but with less fat. Changes have come to the classic steakhouse business model too, expanding beyond its old split between pricey fine dining and casual Western-themed spots. Modern steakhouses now blend global influences, with chains like Brazil's Fogo de Chão bringing all-you-can-eat churrasco into the spotlight. The future of steak, however, hinges on finding harmony between flavor and sustainability. While large-scale factory farming still dominates, interest in pasture-based regenerative methods is rising. Grass-fed beef not only offers a bold, distinctive taste, but also promises a smaller environmental impact. And cultured meat, grown in labs from living beef stem cells, has exploded in popularity in recent years, with big brands like Beyond and Impossible leading the way, which is all to say, steak's journey is far from over. And the next chapter may be its most exciting yet. So what do you think? And what's your favorite steak dish? Let us know in the comments below. And while you're at it, check out some of these other videos from Weird History.